Okay.
Party people, how you feeling?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Papa Jug Podcast. I hope you're all having a great weekend so far. If this is your first time here, welcome in. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you are listening to the audio for the first time, please hit the follow, subscribe, track, sneak, stalk, whatever button your little player has. Push that one. It is much appreciated. Today is going to be an interesting episode because we are talking about topics that are connected in ways. I'm also going to throw in the September game releases. I forgot to do that last week. I apologize. So we're now September 9th, and we haven't talked about this month's games. So we're going to get into those. We're going to be talking about Starfield, talking about, I can show you pictures. We're going to be talking about Starfield and the ratings that they are getting. I'm a little, like, there are now, we've talked about this, there are two communities, so we're going to get into that one. Some MrBeast controversy, going to be talking about that with regards to crypto and blockchain and all that fun stuff that people are just freaking out about, and it has ended something before it began. And then our big chat of the night is going to be pronouns. We're not going to be talking about pronouns. We're not going to be talking about the many pronouns there are. We're going to be talking about how people react, because Giant Man Baby had a meltdown. It was sad to watch. It was a harsh commentary on society. I am so confused by this. But anyways, that is all what's coming on. So let's get started with our very first topic, which is going to be Starfield and the ratings. Whether you play Starfield or you don't play Starfield, you have heard of Starfield, okay? New game by Bethesda. Early access started on September 1st at midnight GMT, and full release came out September 6th at midnight GMT. So two big worldwide releases. I remember, I think the high that I saw for when Starfield launched, the viewership numbers on Twitch, I think the biggest number that me or any of my friends saw was like 720,000 viewers. It's massive. It's already one of the top 5 watched categories in all of Twitch history. So, I mean, it certainly had people's attention. It's been a thing. We talked about this for the last week or so, though, since it's been released, is that most of the reviewers, even the early reviewers who had, these are the passionate diehard gamers. Now, they can go in either direction. If you're one of those diehards, you're either going to be super in love or super hate. Kind of depends on where you're going. Most of them came out in the same place. Most of them came with a review 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. There were very, very few really low. In fact, I don't ever remember seeing a review for Starfield that was under a 6. I think the lowest I saw was 6 out of 10, or like 3 out of 5, something like that. But we had like mostly 7s and 8s. That was it. Everybody's like, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. Here's what we don't like. It's a loading screen simulator. Everything you do is a loading screen from place to place to place to place. There were complaints like that. There were complaints about some of the missions. There were complaints about some of the length of time it took you to get acclimated to the game. A lot of people were saying 30, 40 hours before you really felt like you were diving into it. Okay, that's all cool. Fair. I get it. As a Starfield player and a Starfield fan, I've liked the game. I'm not BSing this. I've enjoyed playing Starfield. I would love to play that more, but I only stream 3 times a week. That's it. So I got all of that, and I'm like, cool. I think that's fair. I was more in the 8 category. I was more like 7.5, 8, maybe even an 8.5. I've really enjoyed it, even the more I've gotten into it, which I'm now, I don't know, 20, 30 hours, 20, probably close to 20 hours in. But here's the thing. I'm going to show you guys something, and it blew my mind when I saw it. So let me check. That's not it. Oh, no, don't put a filter on it, Jug. Good Lord, I'm breaking things. That's it. Okay. We're going to do this. So I'm going to put this on screen. This is a graphic that was shared by Starfield Game, by Bethesda. it's a rating. It's a huge visual of all the different 9 or 10 out of 10 ratings that they've had from. I'll read the first like 10 of them. Washington Post, IGN Japan, Destructoid, Cinelix, Games Radar, IGN España, Show Me Tech, Attack of the Fanboy, Game Rant, Game Blog, Game Review, Het Nieuwsblad, Metro, Gaming Bolt, Aftenbladet, PPP.pl, I don't know, something in Portugal, I guess. Whatever. Windows Central. Now, Windows Central, it's a little rigged because, that's Microsoft, so maybe not independent, but whatever. 4 out of 4, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. And I'm just like, why? I'm cool with the ratings and all, but why? I don't get this one. It's kind of like me with little portable Switch devices. I'm old. Maybe I'm missing something. And I don't know, and I read some of these. Honestly, like I said, we've talked about this before on the show. We've talked about it in the PJParty Discord. I get the 7s out of 10s. I get the 8 out of 10s. But to give a 10 out of 10, a perfect score, there is nothing wrong with this game. Nothing. I'm like, okay, either Microsoft cuts you off a chunk of the money or you're delusional. But that's okay. We can all have differences of opinion. I will tell you, in all of the people I know that are playing Starfield, and it's a variety of gamers. We all have different perspectives on games. We have different perspectives on Bethesda. We have different perspectives on Bethesda past games, Fallout and Skyrim and all that. We all have different opinions. Everybody has basically come out with like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Like all of the different opinions. And I'm like, all right, cool. I get that. This blew me away. I would love to know what you guys would rate the game. If I don't care if I've seen your review or not. What score would you give Starfield? If you've played it. If you haven't played it, don't sit there and comment. Nobody needs an uninformed comment. That's what I'm here for. I would love to know what all of you think of Starfield as a game in whole. I mean, especially if you've got some time into it. Like I have one friend, Captain Havoc, who has at this point probably close to 100 hours in game. That's a lot. So I would love to know what people think of the game that aren't, these are just professional reviewers. I mean, Screen Rant, 4 out of 5 out of 5. Mono Xbox, or Mono, the fuck is that? Yeah, Mono at Xbox, 9.7 out of 10. I want to know what you guys think. That's my thing. So I'm still in that camp. Let's say I think I'm going to stick with an 8 out of 10 because there are problems with the game. Even technologically, it doesn't work exactly as it's supposed to, but not the end of the world. It's a game. It's a giant, complicated piece of software. So I'm okay with that, but I don't give that a pass and be like, well, I know you're not supposed to work 100%, so I'm going to overlook that and give you a 10 out of 10. It's like, no. If shit doesn't work, that knocks your score down. If it takes me 30 or 40 hours to really get into feeling the game and making significant progress, buying ships or setting up outposts or whatever, that's a long time. That's a long grind to get comfortable in a game. So I'm going to lose points for that. The one thing I would agree with, if you can see this on screen, there's a quote from Esquire that says, "A cinematic masterwork." I think visually the game is beautiful. I think audibly the game is beautiful. I think the audio that they've done, especially the music, if you guys haven't downloaded the soundtrack yet, get the soundtrack. It's gorgeous. When you watch, in fact, if you watch my Twitch live streams of Starfield gameplay, when you watch the live stream, that intro video that I created, that's using a song from the official soundtrack called Heliosphere. Now, I chopped up all the audio and I got creative and made a trash can out of it, but it's still cool. But that's the level of the soundtrack. It is a really, really beautiful piece. So I would recommend that kind of stuff. So I do agree with those comments. It's the scores that perplex me. let's move on. We're going to jump into, please, but do me that favor of, I'm in the wrong window. That's why my mouse, I'm like, I can see my mouse moving. Oh, that's because I'm in the wrong screen. But please leave your reviews down below in the comments. Would love to see that. You can also put them in the PJParty Discord. If you haven't yet joined, I can push a button that does that work? I don't know if that actually inserts into YouTube chat. It doesn't. That's awesome. I'm going to have to fix that. Anyways, there's a link in the show notes. Go click that. Let's move on. We are going to jump into our next topic, which is the upcoming games or already released games of September because I'm slow. So September is going to see some cool stuff in addition to what we've already seen. Let's get into the first of them. Of course, Baldur's Gate is already fully released now. Starfield is now fully released now. Let's see. The other ones that I wanted to talk to you about, I can bring up the list. This isn't fair. I'm ignoring all of you. There we go. Let's see. We've got NBA 2024 coming out. Oh, yesterday. Sorry, September 8th. Apologies. Noor is coming out on PC and all the PS systems on September 12th. Heretic's Fork is September 13th. What was the other one? Ad Infinitum. That's coming out September 14th. Oh yeah, Construction Simulator. I love a good sim game. I would love to play more on like Twitch and maybe even here on YouTube, but I love a good sim game if it's like, Farming Simulator or like City Skylines. Love City Skylines. That's been man, I love that game. I miss the old Sim Cities. But yeah, so Construction Simulator, the Sandy Pack DLC is coming out September 14th. If you are listening before that, make sure to pick it up. Dragonair Silent Gods coming out September 19th. Gloomhaven coming out on the Switch September 18th. Sorry, I missed that one. Oh, there it is. There. Yeah, the new Oxbow pack, the DLC for Farming Simulator 22 is coming out September 19th. Mortal Kombat 1. This is probably the biggest release for the end of the month because, if I'm right, oh no, I take it back. Payday 3. So Mortal Kombat 1 is coming out September 19th, and Payday 3 is coming out 2 days later on September 21st. Those are probably the two biggest at the end. There is the expansion pack for Cyberpunk, which you saw on screen earlier. The expansion pack for Cyberpunk is coming out, I think it's the 26th. Where did it go? 26th, yeah, September 26th. That is an all platform, so that's going to be available everywhere, PC, PS, and XB. Series X. Let's see. What else? I think that was pretty much the end. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask, I'm not familiar with it. The truck driver, the American Dream Simulator. As far as I know, it's just like, American truck driver simulator. Fuck, now I'm forgetting the name. Anyways, whatever it is. Oh, I see what's happening. I set up the screen wrong. Okay, I'm a genius. Sorry, guys. I'm commenting live. Firefighting Simulator, The Squad comes out on Switch September 28th. I'm back in the world now. Oh, and EA Sports FC is coming out September 29th. That'll be a big one if you're a football fan. So EA Sports FC coming out September 29th. So, like I said, good month for games. Baldur's Gate, Cyberpunk expansion, the new DLCs for the simulators, Starfield. September's had some really nice releases, and we do have a couple of big months coming up because of the holiday season. All the game devs want to make sure that their games are selling, so they'll have more DLCs, they'll have more titles. All of that stuff's going to be happening in October and November. December, I think, is still not a huge list right now, but we'll check that out as we get closer, and we'll see if anything moves. So that's that for upcoming games. Let's head on back over to our next topic of the night, which is I keep saying night as though it's not 10:30 in the morning. We're going to be talking about a new controversy surrounding the world of crypto and blockchain and gaming. Have you heard of Creator League? You might have heard about it if you are a follower of MrBeast. MrBeast has been promoting this because he got tied to it, but it's put out by a company called eFuse, and I'm going to read the exact description. Esports tech firm eFuse launched a Creator League with big influencers like Bella Porch, IShowSpeed, and Clicks, and it used the massive reach of YouTube giant MrBeast to promote it. But now the company has put the project on hold following controversy surrounding the league's use of blockchain. This has been an interesting one. if you don't follow either of these worlds, if you're not following esports or you're not following blockchain or you're not following both, it's kind of a weird one, because this is another thing where somebody wanted to try to create an esports league or team, and they thought, okay, we're going to do things that make it more valuable for the participants, more valuable for the fans, and we're going to create things where they can get involved. They can buy what they call, I think it's called community packs. What do they call these things? Hold on. There was a word. Community passes. My apologies. The Creator League offered fans community passes, which cost $20 a piece, and they were tied to each of the gamers and influencers leading the teams in the league. Each pass let viewers join an exclusive Discord server, vote in polls related to the league, and participate in certain competitions. However, it was all supported with blockchain technology. I am on the record publicly as saying that blockchain is not a bad thing. I support the innovation, the revolution of blockchain. It is incredible technology that can do great. Right now, unfortunately, as it is in most industries, there is huge amounts of fraud, huge amounts of scams, where people are misusing the technology or misrepresenting the technology. Is it perfect? No, it's not. I'm not like fanboying this, but I will tell you that it's, how do we put this? It's easy to mislead people about things they don't understand. And right now, probably less than 1% of the planet understands blockchain. I'm still learning it because it is such a complex piece of technology. I'm trying to understand all the ways to apply it, and it is just mind-boggling stuff. But anyways, eFuse decides we're going to build a new esports league. Let's do it this way, and there's blockchain technology behind it. Here's where things go south. They didn't, according to some of the influencers, they didn't disclose how blockchain was being used. And there was one guy, where did he go? No. No, there it is. So controversy first began to swirl around the Creator League when YouTube Connor Seadog Colquhoun, I fuck it, whatever, Connor, one of 8 creators whose name is being used in the league, said he planned to leave the project. Quote, "So I'll just be real with you guys. I accepted to join the Creator League, not fully understanding the tech behind it. Needless to say, with the current information available, I'm planning on withdrawing. I was not told or made aware excuse me. I was not told or made aware of something. Oh, that there was blockchain. I was given assurances it had nothing to do with NFTs. Given my vocal hatred of such tech, I would never agree to join had I known that." Fair enough. He objects to the concept, and according to him, he was not told how the technology was involved. He was not told that it was involved, or he would have never signed up. And I think that eFuse, with their reply, has been wrong. I don't think they're doing it correctly. I think that they're making some mistakes. I think that if they had been more forthcoming with this and public to everyone, like, hey, we're going to be doing an esports league. It's not about NFTs. It's not about cryptocurrency. It's just about using the technology of blockchain to create, whatever, things for fans, or to create transparency for the financials on the back end of it, which it can do. That's not what they did. So it's kind of stupid. They did a thing where they said the Creator League was an experiment in creator-led, fan-controlled esports. The CEO of eFuse said, his name is Matthew Benson. "We remain excited about the Creator League, and we will take some time to reflect on community feedback and refine its structure. As with all ambitious projects, the path toward innovation is winding. We're preparing to keep learning and pushing gaming forward." Cute. Blah, blah, blah. None of that makes any sense. They also, according to reports, they've had to lay off about 30% of their staff because everybody pulled out, and I'll bet you that means a lot of money pulled out. So that's a thing. That sucks. I'm betting they can go forward with blockchain. I think that if they're more transparent about how it gets used, because they are promising, they are swearing up and down, they are not creating NFTs. NFTs, I still think today, even as a fan of blockchain technology, Papa Jug, me, I personally believe that NFTs are basically still a scam. I'm not saying all NFT projects are. I'm not criticizing NFTs as a concept. I'm saying right now in this industry, most NFTs are a scam. You are buying a JPEG for hundreds or thousands of dollars. Okay, don't do that. What they're creating, however, and I do want to read this quote from them. So this is a quote from eFuse. Within the product, the blockchain provides additional transparency to inventory levels. That is the vice president of engineering at eFuse, Sean Pavel. He said that in a statement. eFuse is using near blockchain to validate data and log information relating to the community passes. They claim that the passes are not NFTs. Quote, not tokens, not transferable, not fungible, no cryptocurrency involved. They are promising these are not NFTs. There's some discrepancy about that because according to the releases that we're getting and the information that's coming out from the people actually involved, they're tied to the wallet. You can't do anything with them. They're locked. So, okay, like the way it's set up doesn't quite vibe with the descriptions. I'm not saying that that's related to anything nefarious. It's simply a lack of transparency. It's a lack of understanding. It's total confusion. It's just confusing for everybody. And you've got guys like, Connor, Sea-Dog, who is just going like, I don't fucking know. No, I hate all of it. I'm not getting involved. If you had told me about it, I would have never signed the contract. Maybe they did tell him about it and he didn't read it. I don't know, but whatever. So just keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. I always want to make sure you guys have the latest information. There's a lot of easy ways. E-leagues right now, esports is a huge way to get ripped off because it is a very costly adventure. And outside of even the biggest leagues, it's a financial struggle. Crypto, blockchain, NFTs, be very, very careful before you get involved in any of that stuff. Again, I'm not saying that any particular project is good or bad. I'm not saying that the concepts are good or bad. I simply want you to be aware that it is still very, very easy to create scams in this and to misrepresent things, even with good intentions. It still may not be clearly understood what they are, and eFuse is now going through that. It was promoted by MrBeast. It was promoted by iShowSpeed. It was promoted by Sea-Dog. All of these things are they led to a bad presentation, and that's unfortunate. So keep your eye out for that kind of stuff. But that's what's going on with eFuse. 30% of the staff has been laid off. The league is freezing all operations until they can figure out how to move forward with this. They are probably have lost a ton of money, and they've got to go find themselves a new army of influencers because most of the ones they hired have left. Moving right along to MrBeast. No, wait, we just talked about MrBeast. What happened? Let's talk about MrBeast again. Here's the thing. With MrBeast, huge, like king of YouTube, we get it. We know who MrBeast is. This is a thing for content creators. He did an interesting test. YouTube recently had this feature, YouTube recently has this feature where content creators like myself can upload A/B tests of thumbnails. Not on shorts. That's still not a thing yet. But you can do A/B testing of your regular video thumbnails, that 1920 by 1080, that rectangle that everybody sees at first. You can test them one against the other. YouTube will send half of the audience will see one thumbnail, the other half of the audience will see the other thumbnail, and they'll provide you all the data as a content creator to say, this is how each one performed. MrBeast did an interesting test. He took a bunch of thumbnails and he did 2 uploads, one with the open mouth and one just smiling. This was so interesting to me as a data person, as a creator, as a marketer, as an entrepreneur. Such a clever test. I love that he did this. He tested a bunch of them. Every single time he got the same result. If he had an open mouth, it performed worse than if he was smiling. That's so interesting. This is a psychological test. It's a sociological test. We're analyzing how people react to the human facial expression. Every single test he did, a smile got better results than an open mouth. So I want you to keep that in mind. If you're a content creator, think about what you look like in your thumbnails. People react to, and he's happy in both. I think that's an important thing to notice. He's happy. He's positive. He is effusively, well, we'll go back to happy. He's just effusively happy in both. So it's not like it's happy versus sad. It's two versions of happy. But human beings responded to the smile more than the open mouth. Now, there's a couple, I think, and I'm not a trained psychologist, but I have studied it significantly over the last 20 years because this is what I do for a living in marketing. I've studied this for a while. I think there's a couple of reasons for this. One, a smile is an ingrained way to greet somebody. It's an ingrained way in our brains that says, this is somebody I would like to either start or continue a conversation with. There's that. That's a smile that does that. Somebody with an open mouth, if somebody just walked up to you with an open mouth, go, ah, that's weird. That's not a greeting. That's not an introduction. So MrBeast tests this. The other thing that I think is part of that test and part of the result, I should say, is that people are phobic of mouths. Not smiles, but inside a mouth. They're phobic of that because that's internal. It's an ingrained thing way back in our evolutionary history. The inside of a body is something we generally don't want to look at. Most people don't want to see internal organs. Most people don't want to see blood. Most people don't want to see tongue, teeth, gums. Smiles are okay, but when you get into the mouth itself, no. You got the little creepy hangy ball thing. Nobody wants that either. Like, everybody is creeped out about that. So I think that with the smile, it seems more, even though he does look like the stereotypical used car salesman on a like a brochure. Okay, forget that. But the smile is a welcome. The smile is a greeting. In chat, I think it's because open mouths look. Yeah, exactly. Open mouths look a little unsettling. Exactly. That's very well said. It's an unsettling greeting versus a very warm greeting. And again, he's positive in both. He's happy in both tests. And he did, and I've put this in the Discord as well, so you can find this, but all of his tests showed the same thing. So for creators, think about what you look like in your thumbnails. For the audience, if you are a viewer, an often viewer of anything from Twitch streams to YouTube videos or whatever it is, think about what you're reacting to. I would love for you to start self-reflecting on why you're clicking something or what you like about a thumbnail versus what you don't like about a different thumbnail. Think about your own reactions. Be a little self-reflective when it comes to what prompts you to do something. You'll find your behaviors probably changing. It's really interesting when you start looking at your own behaviors, things that's very subconscious, you didn't realize you were making it, start analyzing that subconscious stuff. It is so much fun to do. But he did this in a bunch of different ways, lots of different thumbnails, different backgrounds and stuff like that. But it was always just changing his face. The smile worked 100% of the time. Pretty cool shit. All right. From that happiness, we're going to go into one final crazy topic. This is our big chat of the night. This was prompted by a giant man-child who had a rant, profanity-filled, anger, it's fucking Rager Gamer lunatic. Okay, I'm going to get into this, and I want to be very clear about a couple of things, all right? This isn't about pronouns. It really isn't. And if anybody still thinks this is about pronouns, they're missing the point, okay? This is not about pronouns. This isn't about my opinion about pronouns. It's not. I don't care. Let me be real upfront with this right now. Whatever you want me to call you, I will do my best to call you that. It's your choice. It's like a name. It's up to you. It's not my job to tell you what I should call you. Okay? This dude lost his ever effing mind. I'm not going to name him because he doesn't need the attention. But you probably saw it on Twitter. You probably saw it on YouTube. You probably saw it even maybe on Twitch if you watch some of the Just Chatting channels. This dude starts playing Starfield, and in Starfield, when you build your character at the start of a game, at the very end of the process, you pick you pick how their face looks, how their body is shaped, what gender they are. It calls it two body type. I think it's body type. You pick two body types, and it's basically male, female. It's stereotypical, those two, and very binary. At the very end of it, you get to pick 3 pronoun options. He, him, she, her, they, theirs. They, their. I forget what the third one is. I think it's they, theirs. That's fine. Great. This dude is building his character and gets to the pronoun part. Loses his shit. He takes his headphones off because he starts building up in anger, takes his headphones off, screaming into his mic about how Bethesda has ruined his immersion. He doesn't want their ideology involved. Lost it. Okay, here I'm gonna read you part of it. I'm not gonna mention his name again. Oh, they, them. Sorry, it's they, them. He, him, she, her, they, them. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So yes, he lamented that Bethesda Game Studios inserted their quote unquote ideology into everything we love. Okay. I want to find the quote. Hold on. Yeah. He called the issue superfluous because he, quote, cannot recall a single moment where my character's pronouns were brought up, unquote. First of all, that's because you haven't played the game yet, fucktard. If you knew what you were talking about, pronouns come up all the time. Literally, the game's audio, the character chats are pronoun based. If you have a female, quote unquote, female character, it will say, I spoke to her. If you have a male character, it says, I spoke to him. Yeah, she's coming along. He's coming with us. It says genders all the time. So if you can't recall that, stop doing drugs. Something is impeding your mental ability to retain information. It happens throughout the game. Gender is everywhere, okay? The fact that the game gives you a choice helps your immersion, jackass. It's real simple. The game's audio and video is based on it. So the fact that you get to pick it makes it more immersive. I don't know why that is such a hard concept for you to grasp. By the way, I can call you an idiot and get mad at you without taking my headphones off. Why? Because I'm still able to listen. I'm not like you where it's just opinion one way. See, I get to listen and speak. I get to learn and educate. I get to do both. You're a dumbass. It's not hard to figure out that this makes the game more immersive, more personalized, more personal. But if you can't understand that, oops for you. Okay? Sucks to suck. Sorry. Now, here's where things get more interesting. This psycho wasn't alone. Other people decided to chime in. Other big-named people decided to chime in. Who am I talking about? Dr. Disrespect. Okay? D decided to make a comment. The two-time decided to make a comment. Let me share that one with you. Let's see. Dr. Disrespect, a gamer with 4.5 million YouTube subscribers, said, quote, everything is starting to make sense, unquote, after he found out that Bethesda's head of publishing, Pete Hines, has his pronouns listed in his Twitter bio, his X bio, and he later posted on X that, quote, politics should stay out of the video game industry entirely. Let me return to my previous point. This isn't about the pronouns. This has literally zero to do with politics. No, there is nothing political about this. This isn't right versus left. This isn't red versus blue. This isn't Republican versus conservative versus liberal versus... No, none of that applies. Sorry, I was trying to think of all the political parties outside the United States. You get social democrats and Christian liberals or whatever they're called. Whatever. Y'all got so many parties. The Americans are simple. We have 2, and they're all broken. But this isn't about politics. This is literally about you creating a personalized character in a fake world. It's not real. Let's understand. We're talking about you traveling to a planet called Nisoi, where you're going to fight things like a terramorph. I'm sorry that reality has escaped you. It is so unfortunate that you're traveling to fictional places on your computer and you want it to be as real as possible. What? Focus on the immersion, not the reality. This isn't politics. Now let's get to the real hypocrisy of the issue. The real part where somebody is absolutely out of their mind, disconnected from reality. The cognitive dissonance that is occurring with these critics is mind-blowing. I want to point out that characters called things like Dr. Disrespect, two-time, okay? I don't know if anybody knows, but that's not on the birth certificate. So if we want to have these people who are going to go around criticizing pronoun selection because that's not on your birth certificate, you are what you are. Fuck you, Dr. Disrespect. Are you kidding? You literally created a fake name for everyone to call you. And you're going to criticize because somebody wants to be a particular pronoun? Do you not hear yourself? That's my question. Do you hear the words coming out of your mouth that are so insane, you're literally critiquing what you do? Well, just because you want me to call you that doesn't mean I will. Okay, then I guess we're all going to stop calling you by your screen name? Like, I'm pretty sure you created a fake name when you started playing the character. But pronouns are your issue. Okay, very logical. Yes. No dissonance there. Everything, it sounds rational. I don't know if they've ever heard, but musicians like, I don't know, Doja Cat? Not a real name. Have you ever referred to somebody named Bono? Not a real name. Edge? Not a real name. When the Undertaker comes down the aisle at WrestleMania, because now he's retired, did you call him Mark Calloway or did you call him The Undertaker? You know why you called him The Undertaker? It's because he fucking told you to. So you did. And if The Undertaker decided that he was going to go by she, her, guess what? That's how you're going to refer to her. Because she said it. This isn't hard. This is not a complicated concept. It's not even a new concept. The only thing new about it is what we're using it for. And I say this, let me be super, super clear. I say this, he forgot the role-playing part of RPG. Thank you very much. Excellent comment. He forgot the role-playing part of RPG. R. You forgot the R, dude. It's the R, okay? So I say this as a guy who I'm very straightforward. I'm very simple. If somebody who visually presents as male in my brain says my pronouns are she, her, there's a mental exercise that I have to walk my brain through to start training it. And I have messed up. If you are in the PJParty, there are some who are either identify as trans or they've identified with pronouns other than what I perceive them to be. Okay, it's my perception. That's the failure. It's my perception. I have screwed up the pronouns. I've apologized. I'm so sorry. I try to learn. I'm getting better at it, but I'm trying. But you don't see me going on this psychotic rant of just hating entire game studios of human beings and everybody involved in them and the people who are making this part of the R of RPG, the role of RPG. They're doing these things and they're just losing their ever effing minds. And it's just pronouns. So what? Get over it. Get over it. It's your culture war. It's not theirs. They're fighting to simply say, this is what I would like to be referred to as. Okay. Great. I'm cool with that. Have you ever called a guy named William Bill? Maybe he said, yeah, no, just call me Bill. I can't. That's not your name. I can't do that. I'm sorry. I must speak to you as William. Has anybody ever done that? No. Except for Muhammad Ali. If you guys remember Muhammad Ali, now for those of you who are old, Muhammad Ali and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar both went through this. When they became Muslim, they adopted Arab names. There was some controversy. It didn't go over smoothly. And one of the lines, one of the replies was, "That's not what your mama called you, so that's not what I'm calling you." Well, you also don't get to hit him with a fucking sandal whenever you feel like it, but his mama probably did, so shut up. Like I said, this isn't a new thing. It's just new how we're applying it. But there have been millions of cases throughout history where somebody says, "Call me this." For example, some famous world leaders have changed their name. Are we going to call them by their original name? No, because it risks World War III. Get over this, people. Make life easy for someone else at really no inconvenience to you. It doesn't change your day. It doesn't adjust your job. It doesn't affect your income. It doesn't devalue your marriage. It doesn't make your kids more of a threat or less of a threat or more as a threat, more threatened. It doesn't do any of that. It simply says that person would like to be referred to as a pronoun other than the one you assumed they had. It's not hard. You just got to practice. It's okay. You can practice for 10 minutes. Just work your brain into that place and say, "Great, now I've learned that Maria wants to be called Marie." Cool. The person I thought was a he would like to be referred to as a she. The person I thought was a she would actually prefer to be non-binary, and now it's they. Just train yourself. It's all right. That's all we got to do. We can spend our whole lives making our lives harder. We can spend our whole lives making other people's lives harder. Or, alternatively, we can spend our lives making everybody's life easier and more productive. We can accept. And I'm not one of these pro-tolerance, everybody's opinion is valid, let's all love each other. No, I'm not one of those guys. There are opinions that are toxic, terrible, and stupid. There are opinions that are really, really dangerous to people. I don't believe you should accept everything. I don't believe you should tolerate everything. But this poses literally no threat to you. No risk whatsoever. Just move on. Just be like, okay, and then keep going. That is where we leave it today. That is the end of episode 16. I hope everybody and your chosen pronouns remain wonderful. Have a great one. And as always, go have yourself a good morning, a good day, a good night, whatever it is for you. And I will see you next Friday. See ya.